forgotten where we were. Is this the beginning or the end? Do we attack? Do we defend? Do we kick off? Do we receive? Do we know who to believe? I've forgotten where we were. Do you remember where we were? I've forgotten who we are. Are we the good guys or the bad? Are we the happy or the sad? Do we stand up? Do we sit still? In the gathering storm I feel a chill, 'cause I've forgotten who we are. Do you remember who we are? Such a dangerous innocence, giving up on common sense, believing everything they say, living life the hard way. I've forgotten what we know. How much money can a rich man use? How much more can a poor man lose before the page begins to turn? Before the contract starts to burn? I've forgotten what we know. Do you remember what we know? Such a dangerous innocence, giving up on common sense, believing everything we're told, while our world is bought and sold. But I remember what we do. We ask a question, yes, and then we ask the question once again, and the questions never end. When you are a citizen, learn the truth and hold them to the promise made to me and you. Learn the truth and hold them to the promise made, the promise made, the promise made to me and you. I was never one to raise my hand, take a stand, upset the plan, but the child has grown into a man. Now times have changed. I was content to go along, sing the safe, the careful song, trusting right would vanquish wrong. Old times have changed. I sing for peace now. I made a vow to reach for higher ground. I sing for peace now. Peace is how it turned the world around. The news gets worse, so do the lies. They hide the bodies from our eyes, thinking we won't realize we have the power to change. I sing for peace now. I made a vow to reach for higher ground. I sing for peace now. Peace is how we'll turn the world around. Children cry, mothers weep, been having trouble going to sleep, as brave young men lie buried deep. Now the times have changed, I sing for peace now. I made a vow to reach for higher ground. I sing for peace now. Peace is how we'll turn the world around. Sing for peace, sing for peace, turn the world around. That's your part. Sing for peace, sing for peace, turn the world around. A little bit louder. Sing for peace, sing for peace, turn the world around. Work for peace, work for peace, turn the world around. Vote for peace, vote for peace, turn the world around. Pray for peace, pray for peace, turn the world around. Sing for peace, sing for peace, turn the world around. One more time. Sing for peace, sing for peace, turn the world around. It's truly wonderful to be back on this stage. My brother Steve and I were in a band called the Chapins. We had kicked Harry out of the band. We were the Chapin brothers, and then we were the Chapins, and we were the house band at the bitter end for a whole year. Paul Colby was our manager, and we played every other week. We were the opening act for whoever was here. David Steinberg about 4 times, Randy Newman, New Year's Eve with Elephant. I know, it's on and on and on, and we knew that back room really well. The stage was smaller then, and I was a lot younger. And matter of fact, Julie was talking about the other end. My brother Steve, actually what happened was that Paul Colby started a bitter end west. And my brother Steve says to Paul, "Paul, you really blew it, man. You should have called bitter end west the other end." So Paul then changed this name for the other end for a little while, but my brother Steve was the one who came up with that name. A little bit of backstage jive. So here I was about 2 weeks ago, and my wonderful thing about time going by is that there's not only Chapin brothers, but now there are the next generation. Some of you have heard Jen Chapin, wonderful singer-songwriter, my brother Harry's daughter. And my daughters are singing now as the Chapin sisters. And I tried to get them to come tonight. They're actually in town because we did a show in Bethlehem, a Christmas show in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. Nice place to be. But a couple of weeks back, maybe 3 weeks, maybe it's a month back or so, Jen said, "We've got to go down to Occupy." So I went down with Jen and my daughter Lily. And Jen wanted to sing some of her really good songs. She started singing some of her songs, but that wasn't working so well. And the guy came up and said, "Do you know the Banks of Marble?" And I said, "Well, I know the chorus." He said, "Well, I know all the verses." See, I've traveled, make it 8. I travel around this country from shore to shining shore. It really made me wonder the things I heard and saw. I saw the weary farmer plowing sodden loam, and I heard the auction hammer a-knocking down his home. But the banks are made of marble with a guard at every door, and the vaults are lined with silver that the farmer sweated for. Help me out. But the banks are made of marble with a guard at every door, and the vaults are lined with silver that the farmer sweated for. Yes, I saw the seamen standing so idly by the shore, and I heard the bosses saying, got no work for you no more. But the banks are made of marble with a guard at every door, and the vaults are lined with silver that the miners, the seamen sweated for. Well, I saw the weary miner scrubbing coal dust from his back, and I heard his children crying, got no coal to heat the shack. But the banks are made of marble with a guard at every door, and the vaults are lined with silver that the miners sweated for. I know this song because the first recording we ever heard, I was 12, my brother Harry was 14, and Steve was 11, and Steve and I were choir boys. We all played classical instruments. I played clarinet for 5 years under duress. Harry played trumpet, Steve played piano, still plays piano. And we heard a recording one summer called The Weavers at Carnegie Hall. Seminal recording in the folk scare of the 60s. And it changed the Chapin brothers' lives. We listened to that all summer long. Into the summer, Harry said, we could do that. And he got a 5-string banjo in the Pete Seeger book and began to play, and I got a guitar, and here we are. Although these many years later, Harry's been gone for 30 years now, 1981. But these songs, his songs, but also songs the Weavers uncovered. This song actually was written by a guy named Lee Rice in 1950. In Pete Seeger's 59 Folkways LP, American Industrial Songs, he talks of, there's a little liner note saying, the composer of this song was a New York State apple farmer and one-time president of the Ulster County chapter of the Farmers Union. And I remember this song on one of the Weavers records, and it was an amazing thing to be down at Occupy Wall Street, and this guy who was older than I am, and I'm now 66, and he came up and said, you know, I know all these words. And after we sang this song, Jen said, I better learn some of these old songs, because this just rocks. Well, I see my brothers working throughout this mighty land, and I pray we get together and together make a stand. And we'd own those banks of marble with no guard at any door, and we'd share the vaults of silver that we all sweated for. And we'd own those banks of marble with no guard at any door, and we'd share those vaults of silver that we all sweated for.